Hey guys, so welcome to episode 1 of my FIFA career mode this year. It's Zach back again with another video, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video that came out yesterday, Starting the Road to Glory, on the web app. I think that's really good. And then Thursday, that next episode 2, will be out. And here you just see me kind of creating the club, and it is going to be with Crystal Palace this year, as you can see in the logo and the thumbnail. I picked Crystal Palace because they didn't have a great season last year, and as well, they are winless from, at the time of recording, I think their first 6 games, and I think they haven't scored a goal yet, which is really just quite awful. I could be off on that last stat. I don't remember what happened in their game this weekend. But at the time I decided to do Crystal Palace, they were no wins from 5 games and haven't scored a goal yet. So here we're just running through, creating our guy, putting our name in, and this is all sped up stuff. Well, I just kind of talk about what we're going to be doing, what's going on with the career mode. A lot of new stuff. I'm actually, it's not perfect. Career mode is far from perfect, but I'm actually really happy with a lot of the changes that they've made. And as always, gameplay changes are technically career mode changes, right? But nobody really counts those. Although the quick sub sort of thing is really nice. I use that in the game that we play. We will get some gameplay in this video right at the end. Other good changes are the transfer market sort of change. This is the preseason invitational. We do decide to go to Germany eventually, play Hamburg and Atalanta, teams like that, and we jump in, and this is the whole new thing. And I will be doing training. I don't think I'll be showing much training. Just FYI, here is our opening emails. Transfer market's open, obviously. Here's our vision and expectations. Very low youth development, literally sign a midfielder. No continental success. Domestic success is finish mid-table, and financial is our medium priority. We need to increase the club value over 2 years, so we will do that. And again, this is all sped up. Excuse me. So if you need to see anything more in depth, feel free to pause, take a look. I'm including this bit about how I scout because I always look for advice in people's videos about how to scout, where to send my scouts, what they actually look for, and I don't find it a lot in a lot of other people that I watch, on YouTube. So I thought, hey, I'll do it. I'll leave it in here, and it won't be in all the time. But while we're starting the season during the transfer window, I went out and got a new scout. I deleted all the instructions that were there now, so now I'm gonna go look at my club. We're just going to get rid of all that. We do get a Scout Future Star as well in just a second, so if anybody was worried about that, don't worry. We do sign a youth scout, and we send him to England for 9 months just to get some young English talent. Youth isn't a priority for Palace, but it is a priority for me, especially my Scout Future Star, bringing him in right there, as you can see. So we're going to go take a look at the squad in a second. And we're going to look at, areas of need. And obviously they're set up in a 5-4-1. We're not going to be playing that. So right away I kind of see that goalkeeper is something we need to address eventually. Right back is something we're going to need to address eventually. Center back, we're very strong. I'm looking at all these center backs we have. I'm not going to sell that many people right away. I've just put him out on loan. Damian Delaney, I think, can go because he doesn't have much left on his contract. And he's also pretty, here I am looking at the center backs again, and pretty low rated in comparison to the other center backs. Fusu Mensah's in on loan for Manchester United. We will be using him, but we will be using Riedewald a lot. So our first team pairing is probably going to be Mamadou Sakho and Jairo Riedewald, because he grows really well, I believe, and Sakho is obviously our highest rated player. So we're just going through, putting some people out on loan. Ruben Loftus-Cheek was a good buy. I believe he has showing great potential tag, so he'll get to at least 80. He'll be a midfielder, at least in a rotational capacity for quite a while. And then we just look at the strikers. We've got Benteke, we've got Wickham. I want a fast, pacey striker to bring on off the bench. I mean, Wickham's fine, but I'm not going to bring Wickham off the bench expecting him to change games. So based on this squad analysis, I go to the instructions. I define some instructions. We start looking for a striker who, you know, is first team ready, can come off the bench, can start some games, maybe cup games, things like that. Once we get into continental competitions, maybe even outstrip Benteke for the starting spot. And then we look for a left midfielder because I'm not super happy with Townsend and Sacco. Either one of them could be a very serviceable backup, but I don't think I want them as my starter. So hopefully we'll get one of those in before the end of the window. And actually, I think that's about it for now. And as I go through the squad, through the rest of the video, you'll see I add some other things in. Oh, and I just say, oh, let's look for some promising players, see if anybody catches my eye. Young, promising players up to about 20 years old. And yeah, so we go with that for now, and then we send our scouts out. And here we're doing the team management. Like I said, we're not playing the 4-5-1. We're going to drop that back, and we're going to go to the 4-3-3 attack with that cam. So I'm moving the players around. We've got Zaha on the right. Interesting thing happens with Wilfried Zaha in just a second. I will address that when it comes up. But, you know, I'm pretty happy with most of my back line. With left back, we're more than set. We got Van Aanholt and SWRN, a very serviceable backup, and Van Aanholt's good in the game. We're good at center back as well with Sacco, Riedewald, Tompkins in reserve. So we'll do well there. Scott Dan as well. Fusu Mensah also in on loan. So we'll do fine at center back. Midfield, I think we're all right. Because we got Loftus-Cheek, we've got Johan Cabaye, we've got Punchin, who can all play. Jordan, even Munch could hop in there and get a game. So I just kind of set up my lineup, and that's kind of what I'll probably be going with. You know, if I was going to stick with this team, make no transfers, that's what I'd go with going into the season. And here I realize, yes, we are definitely going to need a goalkeeper. If not now, then definitely in January if we're going to achieve that mid-table finish. And we get an offer for Wilfried Zaha. And so transfers, I mentioned, are new development in career mode this year. So they're a lot different than they've been in past years. And so I jump in, and now we're in the transfer hub. So we've got a received offer here for Zaha from Wolfsburg. So you can kind of open this up, and you can reject right away. You can accept it right away, of course. Or you can negotiate or delegate. I delegate later in the video, so I'll show you guys how that works. But I'm going to negotiate, and it cuts to the scene. You got a transfer cut scene. You got all your jerseys up there and along the wall. And so that's the representative from Wolfsburg who's actually come, and we're going to talk about transferring Zaha. So I can add a sell-on clause. I can propose a new fee. And I'm like, okay, well, Zaha is one of my best players, and I'm not going to sell my best player for $25 million. So I say, you're going to have to give me at least 32, which, to be honest, I didn't think they would be like, oh, yeah, sure. And they did. So now we're out of a right winger. So we're going to need a right winger as well. And even I actually might even be okay playing Townsend in there in reserve, keeping Sacco and Townsend, you know, and having somebody reserve in the right side as well. But we're definitely going to need at least one starting winger. And this is some good money to spend. And our transfer budget is like 50-something million after I spent on getting some scouts in. And so here we have our first game with Palace in the Friendly Cup, the European International Cup. We do end up winning by a 0-0, and that confirms Zaha is sold there. This is our second game in the Cup, and we end up with a 0-0 draw. So we've got 4 points through the first 2 games of the tournament, doing really well. You know, I don't play the group stage of these tournaments. I will play the knockout stages, and you will see the semifinal at the end of this game. We get an offer for Townsend, who I would have sold, but I don't because, you know, we just sold Zaha. And now here I do the delegating. We get an offer for Scott Dan, and this is what comes up when you hit delegate. So your assistant manager is going to be, you know, kind of in charge. So they offer 8. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to let Scott Dan go. And Scott Dan's not going to start for me. He's not going to be a starter because I want to start Riedewald and Sacco. And then I'm happy to have Mensah and Tompkins in reserve there. I think that's totally fine. So that means Dan and Delaney are surplus to requirements, they can go. So I do that, and you can say, like, I start with this offer, but then you can go as low as this offer. So I said as low as 9, let's start at 13, and I'd be happy with any amount in between there. Dortmund want to purchase Johan Kabay. I say no thanks. We did get an offer for Delaney there from Villa. I guess I must have cut that out. Just for like less than $1 million, just trying to get rid of him. So I left all this in, picking my lineup. We put Sacco out on the right hand side for now. We do leave Punchin in. SWRN comes out for Van Aanholt. We do our center back pairing there, and then we do our quick subs. So pretty cool how you can do this. Kakai is gonna probably fill in. It'll be a platoon role until we get somebody for that right wing spot. And I sped this up because apparently people have been getting copyright struck for like Premier League teams walking out. I don't know if it would have happened in this game, but apparently the graphics are so realistic that the algorithm on YouTube that like checks for it like has been getting tricked and thinks the game is actually like the Premier League walkouts. Before an actual Premier League game on a Saturday or Sunday. So yeah, I sped this up a little bit. Hopefully the algorithm won't catch it and copyright strike me, because that would suck. But I did want to leave this in and get the lineups in. And because I'm probably gonna do most of these post-com, unless I do a full live game. If I do a full live game, I will do a live post-com or a live commentary. But I will do most of these post-commentary. And oh, what a terrible piece of defending from me there. First highlight goes to Braga, who we are playing in the semifinal. And look at this clearance. Oh, see you later. We get lucky there. And then we get a highlight from a poor piece of play. They just give the ball away. Quick pass into Benteke. Turns his man. Left-footed shot. And it sails past the outside of the post, unfortunately. So then we move into another highlight. We're moving up the field. And this was a tough game. I'm still getting used to the gameplay. Our central midfielders are linking up, punching, pushing through the midfield. We play it out wide to Sacco. Sacco puts a cross in, and what a save from their keeper off the Townsend header. But it is a poor clearance back to Sacco. Sacco into Benteke. Benteke turns his man and forces another save. We do have a bit of a succession of corners here. I leave in a bit of gameplay because we're piling the pressure on. Header to Benteke, another nice save. Corners are a lot easier this year. Crossing is a lot easier this year. I expect a patch because this is what happened last year, if anyone remembers. As we do score a goal with a header from a cross from a corner with Christian Benteke. This is what happened last year. Crosses were scoreable last year when the game first came out. Now, or partway through the year, that patch came out, and crosses became very difficult to score. Corners became almost impossible to score from unless you like really abuse this one way to do it. So that was disappointing, and I really hope that doesn't happen this year. And crossing was a big deal this year, right? So it's like the new dynamic crossing. So I hope they don't put a patch out that changes it, because I like the way it is, and I don't mind conceding a goal from a cross. It's okay. It's my fault I didn't get out there and close down the winger, and you actually see this happens to me later in this game. But that's okay. I'm happy to do that. So I'd rather they leave it how it is. In that regard, my one complaint is how bad goalkeepers are. You'll see it right here. Look at that. He just falls over. I dive. Don't just fall on the ground. Oh, man. It was such a weak header. It was very, very disappointing. So it is 1-1 going into the half. And that one hurt. So just another reason we need an upgrade at goalkeeper, because clearly Hennessy doesn't have it. And look at it. Look at how slow that is. Just stay on your feet and move over. You don't even need to dive at that point. And this is another chance to Braga here. Like I said, I'm still getting used to the game. And look at that. 2 swings and misses. He threads that pass right through. And we almost get beat by the cross, but Van Aanholt does a really good job heading it out of bounds. And you can see that little R2 that comes up in the corner. That's how you do the quick subs. Think I did one this game. Oh, and that was a mistake there. I didn't go down and close out that cross. And he just squeezes it between my goalkeeper and that defender there. number 99 scores a decent little volley. He just puts it on target, and sometimes that's enough. So we are down 2-1, and then they stick it to me in a second. They'll give us another goal, and I will spoil it a bit. We do not end up making it to the final. We get bounced in the semifinal. Like I said, still getting used to the game. I play on Legendary. I will continue to play on Legendary unless I start losing every game that's ever happened. But look at this finish there. Very nice. So that'll just about do it for this episode of Career Mode. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys like Palace. Feel free to suggest any and all transfer suggestions in the comments. I will do my best, if anybody answers, to kind of go with what you guys want. But that is about it for this episode of Career Mode, and I will see you guys later on this week with another video. Talk to you guys then. Thanks.